Hello, my name is Karen. Welcome. Today I'm going to tell you I haven't shot a show in a couple weeks. I was under the weather for the past 2 weeks, but I'm feeling better now, and here I am. I hope you are feeling well as well. First, I want to express my deep sympathy of the family of 9/11 who passed on. That was a dreadful day, and I think every one of us can tell where we were at the moment of the catastrophic event that took place on 9/11. God bless the people. One day, on my 50th birthday, I went to the Ground Zero, and God gave me a gift. And the gift was to send all the souls home to heaven. We sent all the heroes home to heaven. My sympathy goes out to you all. My pain is your pain. I love you all. Blessings. Today, I want to talk to you about abortion. I know they stopped talking about abortion in the headlines on the major news broadcasters. But I want to talk about my ideas about that dreadful day on 9/11. In that time, I wrote to the White House in Washington, D.C. And I received a return message from the White House on July 13, 2022. And I'd like to share that with you. The White House and receives my stories regularly. I talk to them often, and I express my ideas pertaining to moving on. The letter says this: Dear Mrs. Weinstein, thank you for writing to me. In overturning Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court has taken away a constitutional right from the American people to make the most intimate decisions about their health care and families without government interference. Now, fundamental rights to privacy, autonomy, freedom, and equality have been denied to millions of women across the country, with grave implications for their health, lives, and well-being. What we're witnessing is a giant step backward in much of our country. But let me be clear. Access to reproductive care is health care. Vice President Harris and I will fight for the freedom of all people to build their own future and determine their own destiny. That's why President Biden signed an executive order that safeguards access to reproductive health services such as medication, abortion, and contraception, and ensures emergency medical care. It also protects the privacy of patients and their access to accurate information, and promotes the safety and security of everyone who seeks and provides healthcare services. Finally, this executive order makes sure that the entire federal government is coordinated in our efforts to protect reproductive rights and access to health care across America. The Supreme Court and its aliens are committed to moving America backward with fewer rights, less autonomy, and politicians invading the most personal of decisions. This decision affects everyone, and the American people must continue to demand that Congress enshrine the protections of Roe v. Wade into federal law. I believe Congress should do so with a simple majority vote, but if Congress lacks the votes to do that now, you need to make sure voices heard. Our daughters and granddaughters deserve the same rights as their mothers and grandmothers. This fight is not over. To find out more about your right to access reproductive health care, visit reproductiverights.gov. Sincerely, President Joe Biden. So we all now understand where we stand with our president in regards to abortion. I put together my thoughts. And the title of the show is Abortions, a Woman's Right to Choose. Every woman should have the right to choose. That's her body. Let her decide what happens to her body. I don't think the government has any place near any woman in her right to choose. A woman's right to choose is my motto. I am glad people are having children and not having abortions. I agree with that. But I also agree is to have the people to have difficulties with their pregnancy. I think they should be treated for that and don't let the mother die. So right now, I'd like to read to you my thoughts about abortion. Abortion ban should not take away a woman's right to choose. Let the doctors choose the guidelines. It is their patients, and they are to keep the mother from dying needlessly. It is cruel to make the doctor stand back and allow his patient to die when he knows how to save her life. It is cruel to make the doctor stand back and allow his patient to die. Please do not make any doctors stand to go through this time and time again. The doctor should do everything in his or her power to save their patient's life. The doctor should not allow them to watch his or her patient die, especially when he could save the mother's life. All of you have done wrong, you politicians, and the Supreme Court. All of you have done wrong. This doesn't happen in our country. The Supreme Court and the Republican Party, all of you have failed the American people, especially women who are the child-bearing age, youth, high school student, and an adult woman. All of you should be ashamed of yourselves. God is disturbed by your discussion to ban abortion. Who is it that told you, the Supreme Court, to reverse Roe v. Wade? Who is it that told you to do this? I am sure it was not God telling you to do this to our people. God is, at this time, helping the people, and God is helping the people as well. Yes, God can be a caring God at will. He would not do this, and I am sure God didn't want the doctors to watch their patient die. The one you need to do is ask God as to what should be done to the infected being who were told they cannot have an abortion. Who is it that told the Supreme Court to do this? I want to know. I want to know who you spoke to. You can send it by email. Karen Weinstein at Karen Weinstein1 at gmail.com. It is God who leads us to goodness. He has to be tough to make the people learn and change the ways to the ways of our Lord God. I understand abortion is okay. If the female is pregnant, then let's have the government pay for counseling, and at the same time to encourage those to have the baby. Help the woman, girls, get treated so the process of having a child comfortably and is with less anxiety. If a female gets pregnant, she should have the ability to, those who request to be counseled throughout their pregnancy, and that's okay. If the mother, soon-to-be mother, needs counseling, allow the mother to have counseling to make the birth of her child a caring, loving incident. I want all people to know I don't favor abortion to be taken away from the women and youths. But if the woman or youth feels they should have counseling, and at the same time to encourage those to have a baby, help the women girls get treated so the process of having a child comfortably and with less anxiety. If a female gets pregnant, she should have the ability to seek out those who request to be counseled throughout their pregnancy. If the young girl needs help during and throughout the pregnancy, then she should be allowed to be counseled about her life-altering experience. These counseling sessions shall be paid by the government. That's my thoughts on abortion. If a mother of the embryo wants to have the child, then so be it. Let them have the child, if you like. Now, most importantly, the next thought about women having a child is this. The father of this baby must be held accountable for getting the woman pregnant. The father will financially support his child until the age of 21 years. I saw a mother with her family and spouse were having a nice breakfast at the diner. She had 2 young girls. One was 2 years old and the other baby was about 6 months old. The mother looked very stressed out from raising 2 young girls. She's struggling to do the work even when her spouse is helping her. This family needs some financial assistance, and it should be given by the government. I had 2 high school friends. One went to college, and the other friend, she stayed at home to raise not 1, but 2 babies. She had twins. This woman had to take care of her daughters, and it was difficult, and it was a lot of work. She moved in with her mom and her father. There was no income and no help from the father of the baby. The 2 of them, my friend was not using any contraceptives, and then she had a baby, and the father of the baby left her to raise the baby alone. I had another friend who got pregnant in college. She had twins when she was in college. She was a very smart woman studying to become a medical doctor. She raised the 2 boys, twins, by herself. She raised 2 beautiful boys who are now have their own lives. They were beautiful boys, and now they are mature adults. They're living a great life. My other friend who had 2 girls and raised 2 beautiful babies who are now all grown up with their own children. Both mothers had to raise their child without any help from the father or from the babies. Their fathers abandoned the children. The fathers didn't help raise their children, and both fathers didn't help to raise the babies nor give any financial support. Well, the father doesn't have to give help to the mother, but he is to support, financially support the mother of his 2 boys. Like I said, their fathers abandoned the children. I think a father should have contact with his child throughout their lives. And I think the father support the child for 21 years. The fathers of both babies should be held responsible, accountability for their actions and their financial specials. I am proud of my friends who do not have an abortion and they raise their children with parental help. Give the woman help financially by the government. The government should allow the doctors to treat their patients medically so the baby stays safe and the mother gets medical care as expected for a young mother in need of medical care. So this will keep herself and the baby comfortable during her pregnancy and long life with the child. The 2 children. The young mother in need of medical care to keep herself and the baby comfortable during her pregnancy and throughout the baby's lifetime. If you see a person who has young children and the mom is stressed and tired, if you think they are in need, then answer their call. Give them out-of-pocket financial assistance. However, be sure that they would like to receive a few dollars. If they say yes, and they are honored to receive your financial gift, then give only what you can afford. Thank you. This is called people helping people. Karen. I think the government has to play a role for the parents of newborns who do not have an abortion. And I think the government, when in need, shall pay for the care of that child until he or her is at 21 years of age. People, this is a life-altering event. Women, do the best you can. I don't mind abortion, especially if it harms the mother of the baby or the baby itself. The women who are pregnant that I see out on the road, on the street, they look very happy to have their baby. And they know they'll get assistance from the government. No woman or youth should ever be poor because they had a child. That is by law for the government. If the government is banning abortion, the government is responsible for that child to be raised unconditionally with love. That's all I have to say now. But abortions, I agree, shouldn't be used as the parents should be given support and the proper medical care. Also, all girls and women should have the right to a contraceptive. As I mentioned in the past, I had the contraceptive where the little babies are given help, and also the mother. I believe in abortion, but not when it comes to ruining the woman's life. And I don't think the amount of money to have an abortion should be done. And if the infant lives, has the right to keep the baby and again receive help from the government. And especially the male person of that child and his mother must get support, and they must be held accountable for what you did and what the mother had done. I believe in choose, the right to choose, but only under certain circumstances that have been mentioned during abortion rights. Abortions are a woman's right to choose. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Blessings.